Hi listener and viewer, this is From Ideology to Unity, a spiritual journey where we let go of ego and ideological doctrine in favour of meaning, purpose and unity as a whole. So, I'm doing a tarot reading in this. I'm also going to use Norse runes as well. This is something I've been getting into recently and let's see how it goes. If you're listening to this on, say, Spotify or Anchor or something, you won't be able to see it, but I'll tell you what I see. And yeah. I will be using a browser to help me with the meaning of certain cards, especially if they're reversed. I've got a Nordic tarot book that came with the cards that will help me with the meanings of the right way up. If they're reversed, I haven't quite got used to the meaning yet. So if I remember, with practice, I'll remember what it all kind of means. But of course, it's always contextual to the reading itself and what it's about. So this will be interesting because it's my first time, not my first time doing a tarot reading, but the first time doing this on my podcast. So, right. Let's get going then. So, this is for, often the time frame is used when people do these readings, isn't it? I've seen them do it for particular, like, star signs, but in this case, I'll just do it for my listeners or my viewers because there aren't that many of you as it stands. If it resonates with you, then it's for you. If it does not resonate with you, then it's not. Just sourcing cards. Oh, I've got one. Okay, this will be the past. We've got King of Swords. Present, we've got Queen of Swords. And for the future, we've got Charity. Interesting. So we'll start with these for now. I might add some things as well. Well, I'll add one rune. Okay, that came out automatically. So that's the one. It's on the floor. Let me check it. What have we got here? Okay, that's interesting. Don't know where to put it, so I'll see this as applying to all three. You'll be able to see what it is on the camera. Wait, I'm rotating it. There we go. There it is. Right. So if it were to land on one of the cards, I would say apply to that. But since it landed on the floor, I would say it applies to all three. All right. First of all, let's look at the past here, which will be your past in this case, since if it resonates with you, that is. So, King of Swords. In the past, you were going with what seemed logical to you, it seems, but you might have been a bit stubborn. Nevertheless, you were being rational. Perhaps maybe a little bit too cold with yourself and others, but you were being rational. You made decisions that went with your head rather than your heart. And honestly, you did make decisions that made sense. You're being honest with yourself. The question is, were you in touch with your heart enough? Maybe not as much as you could have been, but it's still a positive card. So we've got here a king with a sword, and there's a white dove, a white bird to the side, some stars in the background. So there was very much a, well, it says structure on it. Very much a sense of you knew what you were doing, and the steps you were taking made sense to you, and you were overriding your emotions with what you felt had to be done or was logical. So there's a power in that card as well. As for the Queen of Swords, which is your present, there is still that honesty there, which is a good thing, I would say, certainly. However, there's a balance as well. There's a balance between the logical side and, I guess, the spiritual side and the emotional side. There's a strength in both of these cards, actually, but even more so in the present, perhaps drawing on what you've learned in your past and the foundations you've placed down rationally have brought you to where you are. And yet now you feel more confident about speaking your truth. And there's a power in that. There's a power in authenticity, and there's a power in there's an emotional strength. Maybe a hint of ego. But nevertheless, there is a power to that. And I have a sense you're in touch with your softer side, your heart. You've been opening up to your heart as well. And with that, you have an even greater power, an even greater potency. It was your power the whole time, of course, but now you're more in touch with that side of yourself as well. But there is a need for healthy boundaries and standing up for others around you. So it's not just about you. And I have a sense that you're already aware of that, or at least coming into that understanding. So there is room for improvement here, but it's a pretty positive reading generally for the present. You're not overly relying on other people, although don't close other people off either. That may be tempting, especially when you feel so confident at the moment. If you don't feel confident at the moment, then I guess this isn't really for you. Or if at least if you don't, if this doesn't resonate, then it doesn't resonate. But maybe also there's a strong female figure in your life who you can get advice from or insight from. So this does call to perhaps, while you've got a lot of inner strength that has come into your life as well from within, there's also always, you don't know everything, and there's always insight you can gain from others and connections you can make with others without compromising your own integrity and your self-reliance, which of course is something that's important. And you've been guided by perhaps a male figure in your past, and you have grown from that. So I mean, that's, if you look at the present and the past, in that sense, that's quite positive, as long as you don't let it get to your head. So what have we got for the future here? Charity. Charity. Oh, there it is. It's represented by the goddess Freya, actually. It's an interesting card as well. I'll show you some interesting artwork there. And the artwork is something to take heed of. Blue. Wonder what that blue means. Wow. Prophetic to charity. Oh, Freya had a blue cat. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Pardon me, I'm just getting a read on what it... So, by giving to others, by serving others, you will succeed greatly yourself as well. Not giving to others just to get stuff for yourself, but with genuine, honest, heartfelt compassion. I see you acting that way, and I see you definitely getting the benefit of the positive karma from that. I mean, it says here on this page, it says, what you give, you will receive. It makes sense, right? And I do get the sense of the chariot. It does describe the chariot here. So, I mean, Freya had a chariot pulled by cats. So that's interesting. But if you identify or relate with the cat imagery here, that would be interesting. But the chariot itself is a separate tarot card, and it represents victory, actually. Now, obviously, the chariot card isn't the card we've got here, but I feel like it's relevant. I do feel like there's success and providence and abundance that you will receive based on and corresponding to what you give. Of course, it's not something you can just get by selfishly giving just so you can receive. And now there's that rune. How will this relate to these three? And also, I get a sense that you're drawing on what you've learned from the past and your rational understanding of things, but also an emotional power from the heart. And these two things together, integrated, you understand that you receive what you give. not just from me saying that, you already knew this, right? And it resonated, if it did resonate for you, that is. It resonated because you already knew it was true. So let's look at what it means in my book about runes. Obviously, I'm not reading it directly from here. I'm just kind of getting an impression and then feeling it out. So this is Jera. It means, so it's about the cycles. It's kind of about the year in a literal symbolic sense. Well, it's symbolic, right? It's about harvest and the cycles that naturally happen, right? And receiving the benefit of the giving that you have given. So it's receiving positive karma from how you've helped others already in the past and in the present, which would, of course, when you get to the future, will be your past, I suppose. But also, I see you giving more in the future too. So it's about what goes around comes around, but there's a positive side to that and a negative side to that. But you're getting the positive side to this, it seems. Because while you've been rational in the past, and while you've tapped into your inner strength, you're in touch with your emotions as well. And that's why you're able to give to others, because you're kind to yourself, or at least you're becoming more kind to yourself. And there's a reason for you to be kind to yourself. For you have earned good karma. But you need balance. And it seems that there is already a balance here in these two cards here, the present and the past. And there's a balance in terms of the rational, the logical on one side, and the emotional and the spiritual on the other. Yeah, so it's very much, you get the harvest, but there's a lot of hard work and giving to others that goes into, and working with others that goes into laying the foundations for that future harvest, that future success. And that very much fits the theme of what we've got here. And the success might also just be just good times with people you care about, who you're connecting with on a deeper level because of, you know, the good vibes from helping others. Of course, as I said before, the helping of others can't be done in a selfish, egoic way. The more genuine, authentic, and heartfelt it is, the more benefit you receive. Now, I feel like I'll get another card for the present, and I'll also do a rune, cast some runes onto it as well. Okay, so what we've got here, I'm not sure if you can see this, is the Two of Cups. Wow, this is pretty positive. And it's a union. A unity of opposites, a balance, and maybe even something romantic or a connection between you and someone else, but potentially within, a union between, or marriage within, between opposite energies, the light and the dark, between your shadow, your subconscious, and your conscious. And that's in your present, and that's what leads towards the future of charity and receiving the benefit of that as well. And also it hints as to why you've got that inner strength as well. So you're getting more unity within, and that explains some things. Still, see what it says. So yeah, because of this deeper union within, I suggest that maybe you've found someone or finding someone who you really connect with as a reflection of the union within. So as long as you keep that balance, as long as you don't go astray, things seem pretty positive for you. Yeah. All right. What have we got here? Okay. Below here, what we've got is leggers. It's actually facing upwards. It's on its side, but it's actually facing, it's reversed. So that's interesting. Reversed. Interesting. So let's see what it says. I have a sense that it has to do with your emotions, your subconscious, but it's not all rosy, is it? You are coming to a greater union within, but there's more inner work to do, isn't there? You see, that future card, that generosity, yes, you'll be receiving the benefits of kindness to others, but are you doing as much inner work as you could be doing? Will you get the benefit to the degree that you could do? Because there's some resistance, isn't there? There's doubt, you're not sure. I mean, these times I understand that, especially, well, anytime really, because it's not like you're like enlightened completely, is it? So the more you look within, do that inner work, and really feel what you feel and allow yourself to feel what you feel. It's not just about good vibes and feeling all the good vibes, because the pain and the trauma that everyone have, the more we feel into that and tap into that and do the inner child work. Yeah, I have a sense that working with your inner child will help here. Allowing yourself to, that playful side of you to come out, but also to do that, you need to be compassionate to how and where you're hurting within. Especially if you weren't entirely in touch with your emotional side in the past. But to the extent that you heal within, you'll get greater union and you'll be more compassionate towards others and receive the benefits of that positive karma too. And part of it isn't necessarily about your outward actions. It's about charity towards yourself that comes from doing the inner work within. Because the more you can accept and love yourself, the more you can understand yourself, the more naturally you will love yourself and be kind to yourself. And naturally that will reflect outwards. Remember, the reality is mental more than it is physical. Not that the physical reality isn't real, even though it is a simulation. It's also real as well. And of course, grounding is important. Grounding in, and Carl Jung said I can't remember the exact phrasing, but the tree to the heavens has its roots in hell. In other words, it's connecting to our subconscious that grounds us, allows us to heal, and allows us to grow upwards in frequency, say, and in health. Remember, these Two of Cups, this is kind of the divine energy, like a liquid in these cups, right? And there's two of them. Just imagine pouring those two cups into one container, right? And that energy is actually love, and it's prana. It's love light in a sense. But there's a polarity here. Not duality, a polarity. Two opposite sides. You're in a darkness and you're in a light. Your joy and your fear and your pain, if you love and accept it all and integrate it together, that's where you really get the benefit here. And it's okay to have some resistance, and it's accepting and understanding that there's some resistance and some negativity and pain within, which is how you really grow. Because even though it's reversed, there's an opportunity here for greater growth. And you may well get more intuitive capability as well in the process, maybe even more psychic capability. But keep in mind, it's the opening of the heart that really matters. And we do that with the inner work. And what else have we got in the present? We've got, it's upside down, and it's facing downwards, and it's an M. Well, it's not literally an M because it's Nordic, but it's Airwads. So this is about cooperation with others and cooperation between your higher aspects and your ego and your fears, because the ego is very much fearful, but it also relates to your subconscious. So it's that unison of opposites and a cooperative. So suppose there's the horse and there's the rider, right? The I am presence is the rider and the horse is, let's say, the ego. And through a cooperative relationship of kindness between them and doing the inner work, that's how you, and more of a connection, that's how you, I suppose, get more of the benefit from the charity card here. But it's also about working with others in a cooperative way, in a trusting way, trusting yourself and trusting others. And keep in mind that they come hand in hand. And there's a frequency, there's a momentum, imagine a horse that's riding, goes da-da, 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 da-da. There's a sort of, how do I explain this? It's a tuning with the universe and a tuning with others, but you do it by tuning to yourself. Yeah. In the past, we've got something else here. Interesting. It's this rune here. And it has to do with what you've received from the past, whether it's past lives, whether from ancestors, whether from your past experiences, mistakes, lessons you've learned. And it might be material wealth that you've gained in the past, or it just might just be heritage, or it might be health issues, might be negative karma. There's lots of things it could be, but it's facing sideways, which might not all be good. There might be some negativity there because of the fact it's sideways, which is similar to it being reversed, but it's facing to the present and also to the future. So you're feeling it now, even though it's more in the past, but you're healing it now, aren't you? And you could heal it more. It's not all bad though. You're also benefiting from like a farm or like a home or a family, or like this relates to inheritance or an estate. And this can be literal, but isn't necessarily. It's what we've gained from our ancestors, from our past, and honoring that. There's a gratitude to this, even though there might be some things that we're not happy with in our past. These things themselves are catalysts and aid us in our growth as well. And we chose some of the difficulties that we face in this life for our growth. And there's also just lessons to learn. And these things aren't a bad thing. They're in fact a key part in your spiritual awakening, your growth, right? So yeah, there's that. But then there's one more rune, and this one is this. It's on the charity card in the future. What is it? Oh, this is interesting. It's a blank. Choice, manifestation. It's not just that you receive the benefit of your kindness in the past to yourself and others. It's not just that in the future you'll be helping others more and more compassionate to others and yourself in the future. There's also, you'll become more aware and more tuned with how to manifest. So it relates to things like the law of attraction and other teachings say about how to manifest. If you're manifesting from a place of compassion and love for yourself and others, you'll truly get bounty, providence, and you choose what form it takes as well. Choose wisely, of course. You can visualize what you desire in the future, and keep in mind the future it's all a moment, actually. So don't visualize it necessarily as your future, even though it is, because there are all these possibilities, these different timelines. Visualize yourself as having what you want to manifest in the future, in the present. See? For all this kindness and compassion in the future, and all the benefits you reap in the future, and anything you manifest in the future, everything's a present moment, the present moment, right? So it's actually all one moment. And so you can actually, if you visualize it as already yours, that will help you receive it too. As long as you're not being selfish, as long as you're being authentic and compassionate, of course. But I have a sense that you will be. You've been learning some tough lessons. Not all tough, actually. You've been learning lessons. You've been coming to greater understanding of yourself and others, and yeah, you may well take heed of what you've learned. But remember, it's not just about the theory or the idea of it, or even the self-talk you have. It's about action, but mental action, not just physical action. And that action includes restraint as well. It's what you do and what you don't do in your mind, as well as in your physical actions. But this is a pretty positive reading. It really is. It's not all like, but it doesn't mean like everything's going to be wonderful. It's, you have a key part to play in the boons you receive from source, say. It depends on how much inner work you do, and your actions, how you choose to manifest, and so forth. So yeah, I feel like this is complete, actually. I mean, I could always add more stuff, but you know, I'm pretty happy with this. This was really interesting. Hopefully you found it interesting too. And feel free to comment, subscribe or not, you know, it's up to you. And yeah, if you have any suggestions about how I could potentially improve my my readings, I'm open to that. So yeah, have a good day, and bye for now.